That's Jean-Luc Godard talking about the illusory nature of the moving image. And that's Tommy Wiseau talking about his seminal cult classic The Room, which was so quickly discarded by audiences in a rush to judgment and derision that critics have been afraid to give it the sort of deeper analysis that might reveal something subversive going on beneath the surface. But not us. Everyone knows if you put an infinite amount of monkeys and typewriters in a room, eventually they write the entire collected works of Shakespeare. But a corollary of that fact of random chance is that among any finite number of monkeys on typewriters, each one, amongst mostly gibberish, will accidentally bash on just the right keys to type out a real English word. If only one of those finitely many monkeys manages to type up the collected work of Shakespeare, they aren't your average monkey. But if another one of those monkeys, after hours and hours of clacking away, manages to avoid writing even one word of the English language, he too might just be revealing his encyclopedic knowledge of the English language through his perfect avoidance of it.
There's not often that a work of film has every creative decision that's made in it on a moment-by-moment basis seemingly be the wrong one.
Like the fraud monkey, Tommy Wiseau's ability to always be opposite good cinema and good taste reveals not his lack of taste, but his immense secret knowledge of taste. But why would someone with a deep knowledge of cinema's craft go on to make this? It doesn't seem to make any sense, which is our first clue that we need to look deeper. The plot of The Room is a simple one, told 100 different ways in films like Casino, American Beauty, The Unfaithful Wife, and Casablanca. In American Beauty, Sam Mendes goes to great lengths to sell you this story, but in The Room, Wiseau makes no such attempt, and therein lies his genius. The question posed by Wiseau's subversive opus is a radical one. What if you could see cinema's distortions for what they really were? Lies. That's Hitchcock this time, talking about one of cinema's biggest lies. For what is the edit but a cunning teleportation of our view covered by the magic of continuity? Even the moving image itself is just 24 still photographs that only appear as fluid motion when flashed fast enough in front of our eyes that we don't notice the gap. The illusion of the smooth transition is the cinematic lie Wiseau clearly takes the biggest philosophical issue with, and in arguing against it, he refuses to participate. You can see it in a series of overly conspicuous dissolves that seem to catapult clothing onto his body, and in the inconsistent use of stock footage establishing shots so obviously not connected to the interiors they allegedly claim to represent. But we want you to take a look at his most spectacularly naked transition yet.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
And wow. Did you see that? Look closely as Wiseau as Johnny transitions from despondent to excited in the span of just one frame. The film is pivoting, as all films must do, from the A plot to the B, from one relationship to another, from one emotional cadence to the next. But instead of doing it smoothly and invisibly with carefully constructed dialogue intended to deceive us in its artfulness, Tommy forces you to see it by making it jar. Consider this next to another moment of transition from Tarkovsky's The Mirror, where instead of cutting, Tarkovsky uses a languid, oniric long take to transport us between memory states. The technique is opposite, but the effect is the same. Most people react to this rooftop scene with an aesthetic revulsion, with a sense of the grotesque or the absurd. But isn't their lack of recognition of Wiseau's genius even more proof of it? It is. And this is Tommy's real coup de grace, because stumbling upon this foundational contradiction is the surest sign that we are one layer away from the deepest truth, if only we just analyze a little harder. Let's look back at our moment one more time. This line, "Oh hi Mark," takes place almost exactly 38 minutes into The Room, which, at nearly 4,000 feet of 35mm film, is almost precisely the time that projectionist would have to begin his second changeover. And as anyone who's seen Fight Club knows, these changeovers are signaled by a cigarette burn or cue mark shaped like a circle or an O all the way high up in the top right corner. The hidden signal that cues the projectionist to begin the process of hiding yet another one of Hollywood's invisible transitions comes from an oh hi mark. And why don't we see it here on the screen? because Tommy had the foresight to shoot the room on both film and a video camera simultaneously, so that in order to really experience his brilliance, you'd have to go see it on a big screen. Of course, when it was first released, there was only one screen in one cinema playing the film, which means if you really wanted all the clues to understand Tommy Wiseau's premiere masterpiece, you had to be there, in the room. So, what do you think? Disagree with any of our analysis? I don't see how you possibly could, and we don't even want to hear your crackpot theories about how the movie is actually bad and we're just a bunch of cinema snobs who think we know everything. Don't leave any comments, you'll just make yourself look foolish. April Foolish.